Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing more Golgari, but it's a special occasion this time around. Golgari just recently won an MTGO standard challenge. A standard challenge on MTGO is an event that's a little bit more high stakes where a lot of people enter. They generally go 6 to 7 rounds and then cut to top 8. But the best part about it is it's split. They split. The users talked to each other, said let's split prizes or whatever. And the other player was Golgari. So Golgari got first and second, and they both split the prizes. It's very, very cool for us, because we are Golgari gamers at heart. So this is the list that I picked of the two. The other one is a little bit different. It's actually a lot different. But as you'll notice in the main board, we have no Shieldred. It's going to be a spicy one for sure. So let's go ahead, let's get out there, and if you enjoy the content, please be sure to subscribe. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you all after the video. Man, bad or good? I don't know. I think it's fine, right? We got the bat. Loosey goosey. A deuce. Can I not right click cards right now? The deal. Yeah, okay. Play the bat. My mouse messed up? I mean, what do we need to take here, Tamio? We can answer this next turn. Necessarily answer this. This might actually be the best. Yeah, I think we take the Dama. Okay, I think my mouse was messed up. I don't know what the deal was. I couldn't right click any cards. I was freaking out. No like really good draw necessarily, but I mean the Blossoming Tortoise is a good follow-up here. We get this out of the way, take their mana source away, especially since they have safekeeping there. We'll attack, we'll do a little drain here. Gix doesn't necessarily target, so we are fine in removing stuff that way. No play there means good signs for us. We'll play the Tortoise, hope to hit that crucial land drop with it. Miss! Oh no! Attack. With the bat. Miss land. It's not the worst. We're almost guaranteed to hit one next turn, I would imagine. The 4/3 enters a backup. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, looks at that many cards from the top of your library and may reveal a creature or land card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest from the bottom in order. So here, I think with this Trampler and the upside that we have, I think we actually will use our Gix command. We have no creatures other than Mosswood in there. So I think I'm going to actually turn up the pressure here. I will make them sacrifice, and then we're going to put 1/1 counters on here. And then just turn up the heat. I said the land felt guaranteed. Maybe I'm a liar. I have no idea. I didn't really care too much about getting, as we see another one in there, I didn't care too much about getting this Mosswood Dread Knight back, considering we already had one in hand. We had a lot of pressure on the board already. Bushwhack does nothing unless there's a creature in play. Same with kind of Tamio's safekeeping. Realistically, this being a higher power and toughness, it's less likely to have like a 1-drop or 2-drop come in with a little power and be able to actually kill this deep bat to get the Kadama back. And then we're going to follow up with the Nissa. We have a Mosswood to cycle to draw a card and play a threat, and then we're constantly attacking with the Tortoise. Plus, I think this is pretty close to lethal. At 5, 6, we're at 11. They'd go down to 1, so we're under a lot of pressure. It wasn't necessarily that close anymore once we kind of disrupted their hand and the flow of the game. Yeah, we're first. We'll keep. We have removal. We have a good 3-drop follow, and then maybe hopefully find like a piece to kind of connect with this Nissa. Fable. The cottage down. Also having a cottage on turn 1 with no like cut down or also being on the play is just very nice. We might get hit with a bat here, so we want to be holding up to go for the throat. So even if we had another tap land, we would probably play this the same. Go for the throat's most likely the option that they have available to them. We'll play this. Now it's deciding whether or not we want to play the Preacher or the Sentinel. And for me here, is going to be the Sentinel, just because it gives me a play to make next turn if I don't want to go for the throat something. What I mean by that is I can play Preacher, and then I can activate the map targeting the Preacher if this just gets slammed right here. Also, the best part about these two creatures is neither of them died to a Virtue of Persistence, which is really nice. Those died to Virtue plus Cut Down. Nice Liliana as well. But we have a better play here, at least. We can actually... Most likely, they're making us sacrifice a creature. And we played the Foundry. We didn't make that mistake. I guess. Activate here. The Gliss on top. I think Gliss is a fine draw, to be honest with you. And we'll get Liliana out of the way. This is a fine one indeed, because now we get to play land, we get to play Nissa, make a creature, and then play Preacher plus Glissa. It's fine. I don't think it keeps pace with Nissa at all. Land, what do we get rid of? I guess we have 2 more draws to draw a land, so I think Nissa might be best to, like, just play Nissa, and if we can't play both of these, then we'll play Go for the Throat in one of the 3 drops. So we'll get rid of the Beseiju, which is not necessarily probably the best card of all time for us. But the argument could be made that we're supposed to play Preacher and just go for the Throat that, but I kind of like just getting the Nissa down, plussing. But if they remove Nissa, does this die? It'll have less, it'll be at 4, so it would die. I guess the argument should be the opposite, where I play the Glissa and just hold up this Go for the Throat. Because if they just remove my creature, then Nissa also falls. At some point, Shieldred's going to come. Maybe even big Shieldred. You take 3. Remove this so they don't get to make another one. This is already gone. This is only discard, right? Can't sack a creature to pay for it. Yeah, can't sack a creature. Wow, they're gonna sack the Hopeless Nightmare? You could just do it on instep, not let me know. Steal the info. Creature, okay. Makes sense. My life total is now tied. It's a better time to play Nissa than now. I'm not really sure, because it also survives plussing here. We got a 4/4. It'll definitely block the Preacher. We're way lower than them, so they'll draw a card and won't make more bodies. Phyrexian Obliterator's tough, but they don't have a fight spell. Would they have a fight spell? Not entirely sure. What a draw, by the way. Guess we just plus here. Play a Preacher of our own. Now we have a Go for the Throat. Would there be a reason to do it now? I think not. Maybe to attack for 4, I guess. Yeah, I kind of like that. So let's just get this out of the way. Then we can also apply pressure here. Worst case scenario, we can just use our Preacher to block a different Phyrexian Obliterator, just on the fact that, like, we don't only deal 2, so we don't have to sacrifice 2 things. And we should be able to outpace a Shieldred in terms of damage on our board, I would imagine. Here's a bat. Here's a bat indeed. I think looking at their hand right now with 1 card is actually kind of important. Okay, so we know it's another Shieldred. Obviously, I know, shocking. But now it is to combat, attack, attack. Like a 1/1 lifelinker just to get our board incredibly wide. Oh, trading? Afraid of what's to come, I would suppose. Or maybe hoping to sacrifice this hope. Oh, no upkeep. Back hopeless. This will be the worst if they do find something now, because it's like you could have done that on upkeep. It is able to be activated at any time. It's not sorcery only. We do draw a land. We can actually play Tortoise and then activate this because it'll be one less to activate its mana ability. And then this will actually come up instead of being a 3/3, it'll actually be a 4/4, so it applies way more pressure. The only problem is they block our 6/6. They can't block with the rat, so there's not a whole lot they get going for us. I just like how they played the Phyrexian Obliterator, and they were like, "Hello," and I'm just like, "Don't worry, I'll draw the answer right away because I am nuts." Obviously, I'm joking, but go first. No green mana. I mean, this has to be a pitch. Okay, we have all the green mana. I guess we just let Cottage go, because if it's red, we're going to want an untapped source. Even though it might be painful, I don't think playing 3 tap lanes in a row is probably where we want to be. Okay, well, that gives us time. I don't think this is important to hold up, and I don't think this is necessarily that important to get in play right away. Orzhov is going to be a little tough, I think. Pay through life. I mean, kind of pay through life. So I think it tells us that it's the Angels deck, which should be a good matchup overall. It's just creature matchups, and Anointed with Affliction should be fine. What is that? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Opponent, we have a problem. You see here, I didn't draw an answer. I draw a land. So let us make it complicated and let's just get Glisten down. I could plus here, but I'm actually not going to. I like the cards in my hand too much. Maybe Bat would be what we get rid of, but they're at 5 cards. They kind of have like a good combo piece in play. I guess this is not Explorer. This is not a combo piece. Blast Zone, okay. Sure. Find another Bat. We'll bat first in case they have an Emperor. If they can flash in response, and now we know not to attack. And maybe once we know their hand, like, we can kind of just play around it. Oh my god. And here I thought they were playing something else. How are you going to be playing this, but you're also like, I'm going to be playing to populate Sunfall. What a weird way. Realistically, I'd want them to cast to populate because I get to draw a card with my Glissa at least. Now we're plussing and we're getting rid of this bat. Argument could be made like hold the bat. Well, I guess the argument should be made to like take the Sunfall. But they can just play land then Sunfall, or maybe start with the Liliana plus, but we're not sure what their hand is. You plus to let me know. Has first strike. I am perfectly willing to trade this off if that's the case. You want to trade this off? Great. I don't care about to depopulate that much. That means my Liliana lives. Almost guaranteed. I'm perfectly fine with it. We're a land away from playing the Tortoise and kind of doing that plan. Maybe they're just going to use Blast Zone. It'll be short of hitting up to 3. It will start losing cards in their hand. Potentially. Cut down. Okay. Cut down. Cut down. Plus. Cut down go. The other card. Another land. Huh. We'll attack with the bat here. Yes. I would assume we're going to see this go to 3. That's why I'm not going to play the Sentinel. Or, well, it'll go to 2, potentially go to 3 next turn, and they might sack to get rid of my bat. Because, like, Liliana's kind of a troublesome threat. Realistically, if Liliana lives this, I don't care. That's not what matters to me. Having this to discard with Liliana is actually more important. The only problem is these lands will be troublesome eventually. Sure. You get Sunfall back, which you lose now. Potentially, I guess. Now we can anoint it. Take this out. Land. We don't want to play the same exact mana cost as our Liliana, of course. I think Tortoise is so much better here. So we'll play Tortoise. We obviously have these to sacrifice and activate next turn. But these could hit bad cards, in theory. We'll grab Foundry so we have attacks available. Well, plus we'll get the Sunfall gone. Now we have a 4-mana permanent. We have a 3-mana permanent. We have creature lands that can come up and attack this Emperor down or even attack them. I assume we're going to see one of these get popped. It'd be really funny if they hit another Emperor. Because I'll target non-land permanent opponent controls. No other players, no same name. And now what is it? Is it like, do you do that or do you do the Liliana? So they sacrifice a land to get rid of my Tortoise. That's like fine. Plussing that's insane. Bring up Foundry. Move to combat. We'll attack with Foundry here. We get that off the board. And then realistically, we're going to cycle this Dread Knight and hope it's a land and play it. If it's not a land, couldn't write it better myself. Now we plus, we discard nothing, and we still get to add onto Liliana's loyalty. Threaten the possibility of eventually -6ing it. They don't sack the land anymore, but this tells me that they're finally committing to the Blast Zone plan. Which means I'll play this Dread Knight on 2, of course. If I can. Yeah, I can do it all here. I think. There's no creature land up here that I'm missing, right? No. So we do this. Bring this up. Go to combat. We attack for 4. There's a lot of cards in here. I don't know of anything that would be super detrimental. Then playing a lot of lands that sack like this make me think that there might be something like that. But I mean, I guess I'll just take those Discover lands out. I think there are cards that bring Discover lands back from the graveyard, so I'm not entirely sure. They put a counter on Blast Zone to get my Liliana out of play at some point here. Next, hit for 4. Play our Dread Knight. Now it's stack Blast Zone, get Liliana dead. Potentially, maybe even Discover. They have multiple opportunities. We find Takenuma, which is fantastic. We know they're playing us as sack for Lily here anyway. So what if we make it more complicated than that? So do you guys want to know a cool trick? So let's nah, it doesn't work with this. Never mind. I'm lying. I don't want to do that actually. Let us go to combat. We can actually activate this Foundry and then still cycle the Takenuma here, which we will do at their end step. No reason to get hasty with it now. We know Liliana is going to be gone, so we just won't activate it. I think they're going to want to be mana efficient and get it out of the way. And then we can argue, do we Takenuma, grab a Liliana back, or do we grab Big Nissa and just start making massive threats? I think that's the answer we wanted. Especially considering what they might even hit here. will you hit? Because I assume we're, yeah, I'm going to say, I assume we're discovering here. It's just a board wipe. Hey, at least it's not Kaya, you know what I'm saying? It could have been worse. Yeah, that's fine. Not like fine, but like fine, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, that gets exiled. So be it. Do this. Cycle. We've been a couple more cards. We grab a Nissa back. Find an additional land. Just everything kind of coming together like we'd want it to. We're going to bring up his Foundry. We're going to move to combat. We're going to get their permanent off the board so it doesn't generate any more value throughout the game. And then we're going to play a Nissa. We'll lose some life here, but we've finally moved off our starting life total. We're going to plus, make a 4/4, and continue to make threats throughout the entire game. Now, even if they discover again, is it discover 4, so Sunfall is not even possible? Right, I thought it was 5 for some reason. Does it change per land? I doubt it, right? Yeah, so Sunfall is not even possible. I think I referenced that earlier, but even if they depopulate, I just don't care. It's like they only pick up tokens and they're sacrificing lands to do so, and then I'm just slowly going to plus here, bring up cottages, and constantly be under threat with 0 mana permanents that even an additional blast zone cannot answer. Opponent goes first. A weird spot. All right, we have like a lot of good cards, but we know this is mono red. They're going first, so it has to be mono red. We'll keep. All I'm saying is I call. I think we play Takenuma. Well, I think we play Takenuma and hope to hit the other source and allowing this to come in untapped. If we don't, it sucks, but I'm kind of wanting to rip a Monstrous Rage or something out of their hand. Their main phase, did they miss a land? You keep a 1-lander? Vampire? Oh no. Well, it's not mono red per se. We should have good chances here. Just need to not stagger too hard. Clearly, maybe it's not just vampires. Let's save life total while we have the time to. I don't think Monstrous Rage is a concern now. Play that tapped. Watch me get Monstrous Rage tier. It'd all be a lie. Realistically, we have to hit a land or it's kind of a bust. You could argue that we play the bat, take a card away, and just use it as a temporary blocker. Try to like trade off some things. We could virtue some stuff. Right now, the board's not overly devastating. It was named Vampires. Why did this name Vampire? Trying to think of the card. I mean, just not hitting lands is also just tough in general. With 2 cards left, I'm definitely going to throw the bat up. We might not have the bat stay for long, but that makes sense. That makes sense. That is definitely a good one. Now we'll probably see the blood token sacked and then pitched. Definitely worth taking 5 instead of giving this back, because that is a absolute monster in general. And then we can use Virtue if we don't hit a land, but we definitely need to hit a land. And then if we do and it's untapped, we're going to play the Sentinel in the Nameless City and hope that they kind of brick, to be honest. Kind of what we need from this spot. If they keep drawing like decently good cards or another copy of this card, then we're just in trouble overall. It will not block. No blocks. Don't think I can. Draw another one. Warden of the Sky is good. You find a land. Now do I have to virtue this Warden? Now it feels like I have to virtue the Warden. Maybe I can just do it next turn. They can only do it at sorcery speed, and this is a really good blocker. Yes? Maybe? Because now I can make a map token. I'm not planning to block this anyway, so I'm going to hit, just kind of hope. But now I can activate the map, put it on the bat, and if it doesn't hit a land, then it's big enough to block. Sure. Can bring that back if they want. I feel like we're gonna get C3 taps here and scry. This will attack. We're letting this hit, of course. We're blocking whatever it targets. I say Warden of the Sky, we're definitely blocking for sure. But we're only gonna take like 4 here. They're targeting this to make sure I don't target the actual creature. I don't know if their creatures matter. They haven't shown me anything that does. Like, this does everything. It doesn't matter what it is, so we'll just block the token, I guess. Then they will scry here. We'll do the bat trick where we put it on the bat, and then we will virtue the Warden. Really hoping for a bottom. Sweet. Oh boy. Here, the bat. Like, good, but also really. All right, well, you know what we gotta do. We gotta virtue this out of the way, and a little bit of that life back. This has vigilance. We attack. Hit for 3. We call it a day. I think we even have. I guess not really. It's just an attack because they have to. I should have attacked with the bat. I don't know what I was doing there. Definitely a loose play for me. Target's bat again. Sentinel is good enough to leave on top, I believe. Virtue one of these. Is it in Gonjo in hand, you think? Or is it just a dead card? And they want to see me bat something to do it. See that. I don't really want... I just don't think I can let my bat go for free. Even though I have an answer for this, like 2 flyers, I just can't really deal with. We've used all the virtues in our deck. I don't really have a whole lot of ways to gain life besides the cottage attack making a food, but we kind of have to have a setup turn for that. We'll see. Could be flash. Make 2 1/1s. There it is. Yep. Medane's Recruiter is the draw. We definitely now have to block the bat to kind of neutralize some of this. 3, 4, go back up to 3. We're dead to Lightning Strike. I don't know if they play Lightning Strike, but they could. If that's the case, let's just remove a creature. The 4. Okay. Activate on here. If they had in Gonjo, they would have done it on our bat already. That on top means we play this. We activate map again. Put it on the bat. Then get another counter. And I don't think this is necessarily the card we want. So I'm actually going to throw it into the graveyard. I assume this has to just be like another reinforcement, right? Now we have a 4/4 bat, which we will definitely be attacking with. We're attacking with both these. Flash creature? That's the only answer. Up to 8. Yep. I think we even have reinforcements covered now because they can only deal 6. Double block. Oh, let's go. That's the grind we need to see. I mean, this hand's pretty good, honestly. I don't know why I gave it a little wicked look. We just start off with the cottage, play foundry, and the death cap, and then we have spot up removal. It just sucks. We're obviously on a draw, and this is going to be a little bit behind. Even if we draw a cut down, like the pattern doesn't really change at all. What way we play? White land. We play land ourselves. And I want to play foundry in case I want to be able to activate it to maybe attack something. Obviously, I don't know what 3-drop planeswalker they could play in white. That would get them there. Could be blue-white. Could be Jace. You never know. Does not seem that way. Alright, take a look. Got looks. This tells us it's soldiers of some kind with invasion in the main, but it could not be. You never know. That's the hard part about these, like, invasion decks is you never really know what they have, but, like, I think just making this more expensive doesn't make a lot of sense. But also, like, we didn't take out Liliana, which is a little weird. Oh, did I draw Liliana? Yeah, I drew Liliana. Shut up. Oh, boy. This is an artifact creature, by the way, so we can't remove it. Also, they didn't take our go for the throat. Like, hello? I figured of all things, go for the throat would make the most sense, but maybe they don't want me to play the creature that can just kind of shoulder check them nonstop. Here I think it's just Liliana start hitting the hand. Sure, they have Foundry, but you just can't kill Liliana outside of 2 turns here. We'll just let a land go. Maybe the land's a little loose, but we have a plus here. They can play an out of line again. We make it sack, and then the Foundry can kill our Liliana. Extraction Specialist can't necessarily grab out of line back, so they just had a slow start, it seems. Maybe Thalia is possible. You never know. Ossification. Okay. That's fine. You want to bring up something else? Maybe not. Maybe so. We'll play Sentinel of the Lost and activate it. I don't think they have any instant speed way of doing anything about it. They could play Get Lost. Did I say Sentinel of the Lost? I think I did. I don't know. Sentinel of the Nameless City. It's all nameless. If they have removal, they should wait until I activate my map token. Okay. I mean, sure. Actually, me activating map's a punt, weirdly enough. Well, Virtue on top makes it not a punt. Because if they play land, they play Virtue, this will be a 3/3, and then cut down's useless. Or I actually, like, I had an answer, I guess. Okay. Sure. Yeah, and I mean, still in this spot, like, not having to cut down up is kind of annoying. But doesn't really work. It does give him... What do you give? Proof and indestructible? Oh, man. What a dumb punt by me. I mean, we're going to make him use it right away. Now this even has a counter on it. Oh boy. What a brutal day to be a dum-dum. Oh, they didn't do that. Okay. Maybe saving it for the Foundry. Just constantly putting counters on a land. That makes sense. Like Gix command can't really deal with that. We're going to do cut down. We activate it before they can do Foundry stuff. I guess we'll do it anyway. Making this 2/2 at this time was a little weird. I have nothing in there. I'll land away from just making it almost impossible for us to win. Like, Gix can't answer that Foundry. They're leaving up ways to constantly keep it in check. I mean, if there's a way to win, this is it. I'm talking Numa. I think we have a way to do anything with this. Turn up to 2 target creatures, put 1 counter in lifelink. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Yeah. A little tough. Yeah, I think we play the land. My thought process was potentially we don't play the land in case they want to bring up this Foundry, like, to block our Red Knight when we attack. Spell Vendor is just good, huh? Their turn, they'll plus. This gives us Gix value, though, weirdly enough. I think we just take it. Or we could play Glissa, but I prefer to take the Gix value while I have the opportunity to do so. Make them sacrifice what counters? And we're just going to have a 5/5 just beating on our opponent. Play land. 5/4 Trampler hitting our opponent. Also, Smite doesn't cover it. Knockout Blow doesn't really work. I think it's red. Some white decks like put it in the main, obviously, because we're in best of 1. We'll attack. The thing holding priority is the array because you can sacrifice it at any time. We're getting pretty close to playing this Virtue of Persistence, which means we'll have access to their graveyard, and then we'll be bringing back like Adelines, Extraction Specialists, things like that. Another Spellbook. Are we going back for the same play? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. No land draw still from them. I don't know what their last card could be. Down Arms would work here. Do you finally go for the throat? See if they block. Another 5 damage. Back. This is a lot. Now is it hold go for the throat, allow them to sacrifice this? Or let's play Glissa and they don't really get a whole lot of value out of it, I guess. I guess they get indestructible, right? Yeah, but if they double attack me, I don't care if they get bigger. They finally find a land. Ossification's other card? Okay. They pay it. Okay. Could have attacked with your Foundry. Put another counter on it, but sure. I guess. Fine. Alright. Guess we do that thing. Now we can awkwardly hold the Dread Knight as a blocker. And they'll have to sacrifice this, giving it indestructible if they want to keep it. Hold. And then we'll start bringing back their stuff. Yes. Such a weird game that we're playing right now. Opponent's holding priority again by accident or on purpose or whatever. I have no idea. Off for a second. Sure. Again, an attack here. I'm blocking. No attack. Okay. Sure. Already trades. Any trades? Trades? Now we get to attack. Adeline's going to make a token. We could threaten to go for the throat this. Don't have any creatures. Shieldred be... I don't even know if we play Shieldred. Oh, we gotta play Shielded, right? I forgot that I didn't make this deck, and it's just kind of the deck that's like in my inventory at the moment. Because it's the challenge winning deck. So of course we're gonna attack here. Make a little 1/1 on the side. Start threatening some things. We have some Glissa action coming down with a go for the throat. And then we have, awkwardly enough, if we hit one more land, we have both bring up Cottage and the Foundry. Sure. We're gonna pop that. That's what we've been waiting for. Now we get that out of the way, and with Trample, we still hit for 5. That's how Trample works. That's why it's so devastating of a play. If they want to Sunfall us, so be it. We have lethal still with the Cottage, so we're going to fully commit to the board. Plus, we have the Virtue. Don't know if that was what it was. Give you a little love, you know. But yeah, I appreciate you and that I care. They just don't have enough blockers now. Bring up the Foundry. This will untap it. Something they could have done maybe last turn as well. I'm not entirely sure. But now we have all these attacks. As you see, it'll come up, and then this will actually untap it, which is something they could have played towards. Not guaranteed to play towards. I guess we'll just bring this back. It doesn't really matter. Just for, I mean, they're tapped out. I'm just going to go to combat. Auto pay, attach it here, and I'm just going to try to swing. Okay, as of right now, we are undefeated on the day with the deck, so that's very sick. Always nice to pick up a challenge deck, throw it in best of 1, and call it a day, especially when we have something as questionable as not playing Shieldreds in the main board. I don't even over here. There's 2 in the side, which Shieldred's not great in all matchups, as you may know. But it's definitely a little bit weird because you would argue in your aggro matchups that you kind of want that Shieldred to gain you life. It's a big bond. It's got Death Touch. It always trades for the most part, unless, of course, Indestructible comes into play. There's always an exception to everything. But for now, we actually use this Deep Cavern Bat, as you saw in one of our matchups, where we made it really big and we just used it to gain the life back and didn't have to rely on Shieldred and us getting back to our turn to draw a card, which can be a downside for sure. But outside of that, what do we got going on? Everything is cooking. Everything is fine. We get to play with the Anointed with Affliction, which actually felt really nice today. Getting rid of a permanent and getting rid of it like permanently has actually been incredible, especially when it comes down to getting rid of, say, like a Phoenix Chick or creatures that might be able to get brought back with the 3-drop white creature. What's his name? I don't remember now, but it brings back a creature with power or mana value 2 or less, so we can get rid of them that way. Getting rid of a Dennick, get rid of a Veteran, things that just can reoccur or come back from the graveyard. It's really nice to use on and just get them out of the way. The Corrupted, we don't have poison in our deck. Don't really need to do that. You could argue, if you really want to, make this Mishra's Foundry Mirex's if you want. Make this just slightly better. I just don't think it's that worth it. But Deep Bat coming in, providing a lot of value. Our other removal spells has generally been a 2 of and like a 3 of in our decks, where we're playing like Terrace Hunter and stuff like that as well. But I didn't want to change the deck list at all. I do think I would have added Terrace Hunter at some point, because it being able to be kicked and exile something at higher mana, where this can only hit things under 3. It's just a best of 1 scenario type thing. I think this is probably better in best of 3, having both of these in the main. And just being a little bit more solid. That's kind of why I went with this list. This is challenge winner / split, because the other challenge winner was Golgari as well. They had a lot more like sporadical cards in terms of like their deck list didn't have like a solid 4 of, or like clean. It just didn't look as clean. And you know what I'm talking about? Like, if you're looking at any decks that's a toolbox deck, you have a lot of like silver bullets in your list, and you're kind of hoping to get to them, and that's a lot easier in terms of best of 3, because deck lists are slower. I don't want to rely on a 1 of in my deck to fill a slot as much, so I like it here. Now, I'm fine with 1 ofs though in terms of like a Shieldred's Edict, because realistically this is our removal package. This isn't necessarily like a 1 of. It can be our answer to planeswalkers, but we also have lands that answer planeswalkers. We have creatures that answer planeswalkers and things like that. So it's a little bit more awkward in terms of like what I'm specifying. But if you look at the list, you'll be able to see. Outside of that, we get to actually play Liliana in this list. I've cut it in the past. I like playing Liliana overall because I think it just works well with the Tortoise. If you're mana flooded a little bit, you can actually plus on this, throw the lands away, so Tortoise guarantees the hit, and you're not that concerned about it anymore. But the thing they do add back in that we kind of not been playing is an extra copy of Nissa. So we're at 2 in this deck. And a Gix command that I've cut in the past, and it's been good, it's been bad. It's just like a really weird card that sometimes it's like the best card in your entire deck or the worst. So outside of that, it's Golgari. It won a challenge / split the challenge with Golgari. So we are cool list. I think we all know that. That's why we're here. So if you all enjoyed the content, I'm glad. But I'll catch you all later, and goodbye.